Greetings, Gemini. Welcome to Tifa's Tarot, and I hope you're doing well wherever you are in the world. And today we're going to go ahead, hold on, I'm just going to, there we go. Okay, so today we're going to go ahead and do your Scorpio season reading. So the theme of this reading is going to be Scorpio season. So collectively, we're all going to be experiencing themes that are in regards to Scorpio season. So I'm coming from the perspective of being in the Northern Hemisphere because I do practice tropical astrology. Now, when we talk about Scorpio season, this is a time, it's like that season between fall and winter, right? So it's a very transformative season. It is known for going through transformations, but also renewals as well. Okay, the card that represents Scorpio in the tarot is the Death card, right? So when we talk about the Death card, that's about big changes. This is about endings, beginnings, right? And things becoming reborn again. Okay, so also another thing, an important thing to mention about Scorpio season, we have Halloween, right? So traditionally in many cultures, Halloween and Scorpio season itself is considered a time when the veil between the physical world and the spiritual world is quite thin. And so we can take this to our advantage by focusing more on our own spiritual world, right? So whether that's like connecting with your ancestors or connecting with deities or connecting in your religion practices, it's really a great time to kind of go within. It's also a great time to for internal healing, to looking at what are our vulnerabilities and how we can address them and give ourselves love in that space and healing at this time as well. So examining that. But it's also more importantly a time to face uncomfortable truths. So looking at what are some things that are in our world that really need to be addressed, that don't need to be there anymore. Okay, so it's also a great time for doing that as well. It's a great time for working on our shadow selves. When we talk about spirit is like the opposite of like physical or tangible, right? So spirit, how I operate with spirit is through my intuition. It helps me like connect to my higher self in a sense. So this is also a great time for connecting with anything that has to do with spiritual realm or our spiritual life. We are complicated individuals that comprise of so many different components, from our body, our health, our mental health, our physical well-being, and also our spiritual health is part of that as well. So we are using the traditional Rider-Waite-Smith tarot deck, but this just has a beautiful gold color, so I'll be showing those cards. And then of course, as usual, because I would like to give you some advice, we're gonna pull one card of advice from the Spirit Animal Oracle. All right, let's go ahead and get started. But before we do it, Gemini, let's go ahead and make the intention that this is for the sign of Gemini. So if you have Gemini and it is in your sun, your moon, or your rising, then it is my sincerest intention that this reading may resonate with you in some capacity and that you're able to receive these messages and apply them to your own life, always and only for your highest good. Let's go ahead and get started. Our first question is looking at what do you need to shed? What is going to be beneficial for you to remove or focus on removing during this season? So what needs to be shed for you, Gemini? What needs to be shed for Gemini? Okay. So you got Page of Cups. You got the Tower. And then you got the Ten of Swords. Interesting. So being that it started with the Page of Cups, like I'm thinking that this definitely has to do with perhaps communications. Like pages are communicators, but they're also very immature energy as well. So this is almost like little sweet nothings, like whispering stuff into your ear, and this reading is centered around you. So it could be like maybe you're being a bit flirty out there. And maybe that's something you kind of need to lay to rest, because I'm feeling like there could be, or you could have a tendency to be very playful, and then maybe as a result of that, big things can happen as a result of that. You might not understand the power of what of that your flirtation kind of causes. So it could indicate, because with this Tower card, this is like an unwanted change. This is something you're not meaning to do, but you're doing it. So it seems to be like a little bit of like just like fun, flirty energy that you're having, but you're having like big things happen as a result of this energy. And it also just leaves it leaves everyone feeling like it's just like kind of painful. Okay, so this could be something, a feeling that you are exhibiting to other people, or I think, but it's coming in your release position. It's like you need to let it go. So let's say if you are on the receiving end of this, you're feeling like absolutely crushed about perhaps like a flirtation, maybe that you got wind of and that betrayed your trust with someone that you cared about. And it just kind of like changed the dynamic, or it was just like unexpected results kind of happen as a result of that. And now you're just like, okay, well, that hurt, ouch, right? Because that Ten of Swords is definitely a very coming to terms with an extremely painful situation, right? But I think that it was just something that was so trivial and so like it didn't like mean anything, okay? But it had like very big consequences, and it's coming up at what needs to be removed or what needs to be shed. So I'm thinking like, you need to put it's either one or two things. You either need to put this kind of energy to rest, like if you know that you're a very flirtatious person and that it causes like, it could cause like big problems within yourself, maybe like try to like stop that energy before, you know, you have unintended consequences, I'm thinking. Or this is something that has recently happened to you, and maybe you were betrayed because of like a flirty little situation, and now you're just like grieved, or you're in pain and you just feel you're feeling the betrayal, and now it's asking you to just kind of remove that, right? Try to walk past that as best as you can. So one of the two of those. Let's go to your second question, which is what is being reborn or renewed within you this season? What is being reborn or renewed within you? Okay, so we've got the Two of Pentacles. It's keeping everything up, keeping up with all of your responsibilities, getting things in order. You got all the, let me see, the Emperor, yes, getting things in order. I see you, Gemini, really getting your shit together. Having that drive to really be able to do that, okay? That is too many cards. We're not taking all of those. But I did see really the Six of Cups, so if that comes out again, we'll know. Bruh. Okay. So I feel like there's a sense of renewal in you when it comes to like just trying to keep all your ducks in a row, trying to keep all the baskets filled, right, so to speak. But that's like just metaphorically. But when we talk about this Two of Pentacles, this is definitely about like multitasking. This is like having a lot of things to do and prioritizing that list of what needs to get done. And it's going to require you to get into more of a strategic role, right, where you're getting more into like your organization, your planning, right, but like really planning things to a T. That's like pulling up the notepad and making a list of stuff that needs to be done, and then like executing it, like calling all the partners or players that are involved in it, right? So there's a bit of that. And then you've got this Five of Pentacles. Now this is also talking about some scarcity or lack of. So I feel like there could be some worry, right? Some worry of a financial loss. And so perhaps you could be like having some money issues, and now it's kind of put you in this mode where you're like, okay, funds are getting low. I need to like readjust. I need to be able to like to have a game plan for how to replenish myself in some way. So I don't have a lost in income or a lost in resources in some way. So it's going to require you to maybe like pick up some extra duties, some extra tasks, some extra projects, jobs, right? There's something extra that you're adding into it, and you're going to have to keep juggling everything to keep things in order. But I think that you got it, because you've got like a very clear mindset, a very strategic mindset of like what needs to be done. All right. Let's go to your third question. This is a reminder or a guide to assist you in this transformation. Okay. So there's your multitasking. You're trying to like cure this, like the scarcity that you have here. What is a guide to assist in that transformation? What is a guide to assist? So you got the Four of Pentacles. Now this is like, there's definitely something about you needing to save money here, okay? This is strategizing for long-term security with that Four of Pentacles. That could be, people might be calling you stingy, like, hey, you the Grinch, whatever. You're looking out for what's best for you and those that you love by being responsible and making fine-tuned financial decisions, okay? You got the King of Cups. So this is whatever you're doing, any holding back that you're doing, it's really out of love, it's out of self-love, but it's also out of the love of people around you. Because you got this like King of Cups. So a King of Cups is a very mature energy. It's a masculine energy. It's very supportive. It has a lot of tolerance for things as well. Very empathetic. So it's like okay, so this reminder is like, it's a reminder to operate like ultimately out of love, even if it's just love for self, operating out of that so that you can strategize like a better way of managing like your resources, I'm getting, okay? Because that Four of Pentacles is definitely about you saving money or needing to keep your money kind of close to you. Fine-tuning what to do with like budget details, I'm getting. Okay, and then you got the King of Swords. So we get two king energies here. So now this, when we talk about the King of Swords, now this is also a leader. So kings are leaders in the tarot. But this leader also is very, like, while the King of Cups is a leader, is very supportive and operates more on a heart space, this King of Swords operates more on a higher mental, critical thinking, logical, rational level. Okay, this is about being a strategist and a leader in that way, where like higher level thoughts are being activated and engaged in what you're doing. So it's like you are not only feeling this need to kind of hold back on like your resources or funding, but you're also thinking about it and strategizing ways for that. So I'm seeing a lot of you just getting your stuff in order, right? I'm seeing a lot of that. So let's look at number 4. Four is like, what is a particular vulnerability that you have that you can pay that needs a little bit of attention or a little bit of healing? So let's see, what is a vulnerability that is, what is the vulnerability with our Geminis? So you've got the Devil. Could have some toxic ways. Okay. Devil is all about, it could be like kind of negative things or being too tied to resources. You've got the World, which is closing of a chapter. You got, your cards are falling all over the place. And then you've got the Sun, which is being very optimistic. So I think that you might have, and I don't know what this is. This is only you could really answer for yourself. But when we talk about the devil in my mind has to do with like addictions. It's like too much is an excess of something, okay? So whether that excess is alcohol, drugs, food, materialism, overworking, having obsessions with things, okay? Lust, right? There's so many things in our tangible world that we can become preoccupied with, that we kind of start ignoring our spirit in that sense, right? And I feel like you could be very vulnerable in a sense where maybe you get kind of detached from the spiritual world sometimes, and you find yourself focusing solely on material, okay? So, and finding yourself, that could be like a source of vulnerability for you, and you're really ready to start a new chapter and not holding so much weight on what what is happening in your resource world, okay? But ultimately, I do feel you're very optimistic about this with the star card, or no, sorry, this is not stars, this is the sun. The sun is all is about joy, is about optimism as well. So maybe you're having, because it is coming up as a vulnerability, so it's like you have this tendency maybe to be like overly optimistic about things that are actually kind of toxic, okay? So just kind of thinking about it in that way, and there needs to be a change in that. There's definitely, you're being ushered to enter into a new cycle, or to really change the ways of where you are, examine where you are giving too much, or where there's an excess that's not necessarily good for you, okay? So yeah. All right, finally, let's go get into an uncomfortable truth. What is an uncomfortable truth that Gemini needs to face? Let's see an uncomfortable truth for Gemini. Let's get an uncomfortable truth for Gemini. You got the Empress. Okay, that's fertility, motherhood, creativity, bringing things forth. Okay. You've got the Eight of Pentacles. That's like your hard work. The Three of Cups. This is your associations. And then you got the Nine of Cups. So this is being about self-fulfillment, but ultimately just like having like a lot of abundance. All right. So it's coming up as an uncomfortable truth. I feel that there's things that you want to, maybe there are creative endeavors that you'd like to, that you have a lot of ideas for, that you really want to birth, or you really want to give life to, okay? And it's almost like you want that to be your job. Maybe you're relying on your associations, your network of people around you to be able to do it. And then you've got this Nine of Cups, because you have just like kind of made this world where you are just like, yeah, this is exactly where I want to be. But the reason why this is an uncomfortable truth, because I feel that there's something problematic about your it's like being too comfort on relying, first of all, on like your associations, and also relying like solely on your creativity as well. So there could be like some holes or some lapses when it comes to like that creative force or that creative energy that's not always able to really sustain you in a material way, okay? And now this is why we're having these issues where you had this Five of Pentacles that came up in your what needs to be reborn. It's like you are stressed or worried about lack or scarcity of something, okay? And so it forces you to kind of like pick up the ball, pick up the speed on looking for opportunities, so to speak. So you're needing to strategize, and you're operating and having to use a lot of like mental power to be able to like be strategic with the resources that you do have and make that kind of work for you, okay? So I feel like the uncomfortable truth here is just like, are you sure that the creative things and ideas that you have are able to really sustain you? That's a question that you need to like kind of think about, because this is coming up. Are you sure that the circle and the networks that you have are going to work out so that you can have stability in your resource world? Think about that, Gemini. All right. So let's go ahead and get one card of advice from the Spirit Animal Oracle. Let's get one card of advice from the Spirit Animal Oracle. One card of advice. Okay. Now, you've got the Peacock Spirit. Let it shine. All right, I'll go ahead and read that message for you. Peacock Spirit. All right. When is the last time you shook a tail feather and shined your light for all to see? Within us is a peacock spirit yearning for expression, and you are called now to show the world the gorgeous creature you are. For you are a manifestation of spirit. Come out of the shadow, Peacock Spirit says, and show your true colors so that others may be inspired to express their own uniqueness. Dance as if you remember that you are made of stardust and grace, filled with life force energy and sparkling light. You are a channel for divine love, and your dance is one of a kind. Catch the light and help it to shimmer and dance in celebration of your good fortune of being right here, right now. Spirit wants you to be joyful so that others may get up and dance along with you. Those are your messages, dear Gemini. My name is Tifa. I do tarot, and please do comment, like, and subscribe for additional content. And if this reading really resonated with you, do feel free to consider booking me for a personal reading. You can find more information to the services that I provide and the types of readings that I provide in the description of this video, or it's also in the About section of my channel. I love you, Gemini. I hope you have a great, prosperous, and blessed, transformative Scorpio season. Bye.